discuss the priority queue implementation using linked list later on. Now, today what we are going to do is, first we are going to discuss about the another application of stack data structure which we have not discussed, that is recursion. Since I took your C programming classes in the previous semester, so I know that in the previous semester the recursion we have already discussed in the theory class, like what is recursive function, how using recursive function we can find out the factorial of a number or Fibonacci series. So these are already be discussed, but the problem is the recursion is also included in the data structure syllabus as well, and there are transfer candidates and lateral students who are new in this class, so who actually does not get the class in previous semester for C programming. So that's why we have to again start from beginning for recursion. So for all other students, it will be just a revision, because no recursion in the previous semester. We have already discussed about recursion in details. We have already discussed about the concept of Tower of Hanoi. But in this class, not only we will discuss about Tower of Hanoi problem, but also the complexity analysis of Tower of Hanoi also we are going to discuss. Okay. So basically, in today's class, first we will start from recursion, how recursion will work, and why in recursion, how the stack data structure will be used. That part we are going to discuss first. I have already told you that in any type of function call, we can use stack data structure. Stack data structure is a data structure which use last in, first out concept. And because of that concept, last in, first out, it will be beneficial to use stack data structure in the case of function call. Why in the case of function call it will be beneficial? Because we know that when a particular function will be called from other function, then first the called function will be executed, and then the remaining work of the calling function will be done. So calling function means nothing but the function which is actually calling another function. Called function means which has been called. So basically, because of that reason, last in, first out concept or characteristics, we can easily implement stack data structure in the case of function call. Now we know two type of function is possible: non-recursive function and recursive function. What is the meaning of recursive function or recursion? Recursive function means, suppose we have a function f1 like this, void f1, and in the body of the function, if the function f1 will call itself from the body of the function itself, then this type of function is known as recursive function. Recursive function means the function is calling itself from its body, then it is known as recursive function. So if f1 is calling f1 within its body of the function, then it is known as recursive function, and this procedure, that means calling the function itself from the function, is known as recursion. Now there are lots of type of recursions that are possible. Mainly two type of recursions we can categorize, that is known as direct recursion and indirect recursion. Direct recursion and indirect recursion, these are the basic two category of recursion that is possible. What is the meaning of direct recursion and what is the meaning of indirect recursion? Direct recursion means when you are calling the function itself from its body directly, then it is known as direct recursion. You can see that there is a function f1. F1 directly calling again f1 in its body, so it is known as direct recursion. But suppose we are writing like this, void f1, and in f1 after certain execution we have written f2, that means we have called another function f2. Now when we have written f2, f2 is calling f1. So that means you can see that when we will call f1 from min, then f1 is calling f2, but F2 is again calling F1. So that means indirectly F1 is calling F1 with the help of the function F2. So if this type of scenario will happen, that means the function is not directly calling itself. It is calling another function, which is calling again the same function. That means the F1 is calling itself not directly, but with the help of other function F2. That type of recursion is known as indirect. It is also recursion, but not directly, because direct calling is not there. With the help of other function F2, the calling will happen. So this type of recursion is known as indirect recursion. There is other two category also, we will discuss later on. Now, when we are writing a recursive function, you need to understand that when there is a recursive function, then two cases should be present in the recursive function. What are the two cases? First one is known as base case. Second one is known as recursive case. So in each and every recursive function, these two cases should be present. One is base case and another one is recursive case. What is the meaning of base case? Base case is nothing but, suppose this F1 is calling F1. We have written F1 is calling F1. But the problem is, if we will write this type of thing, that F1 is calling F1, that means how many times F1 will call F1, that is not defined. So it will call infinite times. Because F1 calling F1 means again this will work. Again this line will execute, again F1 calling will be there. So again it will go to the first line, again this part will execute, again F1 calling. So again it will go to the first line. So in that way, infinite times the calling will happen. So to overcome this problem, because infinite calling means that will be a problematic situation. Why? Because if a function will call itself for infinite times, after certain execution, stack overflow will be there, because this function calling is actually done in stack, right? So there is a limitation of size of stack. So, and the name of the stack is system stack. Already I have told you when we have discussed about stack in details, I have told you the name of this special type of stack where the function calling will be done is known as system stack. Now, there is a limited size of system stack. So if this type of scenario will happen, that F1 is calling F1 again and again and again, multiple times, infinite times, then ultimately the stack overflow condition will occur. There will be no spaces available in the stack. So the system stack will overflow. So to overcome this situation, we need a base case in each and every recursive function. What is the necessity of this base case? The necessity of this base case is nothing but it will give the condition where we can mention that if that condition will become true, then no more recursive calling will be there. That means the termination of recursive calling, that condition will be provided into base case. So base case is providing the condition where we can say that if that condition will become true, no more recursive calling will be there. And what the recursive case is explaining? Of course, the recursive case is explaining otherwise. That means if the condition is not true, then of course the recursive calling will be there, because if the recursive case is not present, then that function will not be treated as a recursive function. So recursive case should be present, but not only that, to overcome the problem of infinite calling, we need a base case also in the recursive function. If the base case is missing, then the recursive calling can be happen infinite times. Okay, so whenever you are going to write a function, you have to remember that for each and every recursive function, if you want to execute the recursive function for finite times, then the base case should be present inside the function. Now, we are going to give an example of recursive function, and then we will explain how stack data structure will be used for this function calling. For example, factorial. All of you know that how you can calculate the factorial of a number. Suppose it is 4 factorial. 4 factorial is nothing but 4 into 3 factorial. where this 3 factorial again be divided into 3 into 2 factorial, where this 2 factorial is nothing but 2 into 1 factorial. 1 factorial is 1. So 2 into 1 means 2. That 2 will be going to this upward direction for previous execution. Here 3 into 2 means 6. That 6 will go to this upward direction. Here 6 into 4 means 24. So in that way, the factorial calculation will be done. Now, you can see that this factorial, this 4 factorial is nothing but 4 into 3 factorial, means again the factorial is calling factorial function. With respect of which value? 3. This 3 factorial means nothing but 3 into again the factorial function is called, but now the value is reduced by 1. Again it will be called, but now again the value is reduced by 1. So the value is reducing by 1 in each and every step, and again the same operation is going to be done. So when this type of scenario will be there, that means when you can divide a particular problem into multiple sub-problems of similar type, then only you can solve that problem with the help of recursive function. Because it is not true that all problem can be solved using recursion. Because if you cannot get the similar submodules, then of course the problem cannot be solved using recursion, because recursion means the similar submodules will be there. You can see here it is factorial, here also it is again factorial, here also it is again factorial, but with respect of other value, not with respect of 4, with respect of 3, then with respect of 2, then with respect of 1. So when we can divide a particular problem into multiple sub-problems where all the sub-problems are doing the same job with different value, then we can say that this problem can easily be solved with the help of recursion. Now, the advantage of recursion over non-recursion is nothing but it is actually reducing the line of code. It will be just giving you a compact code if we are using recursion. Otherwise, in the case of time complexity, it will not be beneficial, because you can see that multiple times function calling means multiple overhead for function calling you have to take. So of course, it will just reduce the line of code. It will become your program compact, but ultimately adding to time complexity, it will not be always beneficial. Okay, but we need recursion in some cases to solve it easily. So to solve a complex problem, and if the complex problem can be divided into multiple sub-problems of similar type, then we can easily solve that problem with the help of recursive function. Now, we are going to calculate the factorial of a number using recursion. So when we are going to calculate the factorial of a number using recursion, I am writing first the program, not void, int, because we are going to return the factorial value. Int factorial, int n. N is the number for which we are going to calculate the factorial. What will be the base case? You know that there should be a base case. Why there should be a base case? Because if there should not be a base case, then it will go infinite times. After this one, again it will be minus minus, then it will become 0. After 0, then it will become minus 1. So in that way, it will go infinite times. So we have to give some base condition or base case for which no more recursive calling will be there. What is the base case for factorial? When it will reach to 1, 1 factorial means 1, no more division is needed. Or if the value of n is 0, 0 factorial is also 1. So that means we are going to write over here n equals to 1 or n equals to 0, then return 1. Because 1 factorial is also 1, 0 factorial is also 1. So of course, if the value of n will become 1 or 0, then return 1, because no more recursive calling is there. Directly we will return a constant value, that is 1. If that criteria is not there, we will write the else part. In the else part, I am writing else return n into factorial n minus 1. Okay. So else return n into factorial n minus 1. Why? Because 4 factorial means it will return the value 4 into 3 factorial means n into n minus 1. This 3 factorial means again the function calling will be there, and this 3 factorial is nothing but, now the value of n is 3. This 3 factorial is nothing but 3 into 2 factorial. So n into n minus 1. Again n into n minus 1. So in that way, it will repeat until this condition will not be reached. When this condition will be reached, that means it will go to the base case, no more recursive calling will be there. Now, how it will work in the case of stack, we will discuss with the pictorial representation. Now, I am writing the main function first. Then I will explain the stack. Int main. Inside main, আমি direct লিখছি. I am calling int result or r equals to factorial 4. আমি এটা ডিরেক্ট লিখেছি, তোরা scanf দিয়ে ভ্যালুটা পাস করাবি, আমি ডিরেক্ট লিখেছি। So r equals to factorial 4. I have written this function and this function. Now I am going to explain the characteristics of stack in this scenario, how the stack is executing. Suppose this is the system stack. Okay, this is system stack. You can see that first main function will be called, because all of you know that execution always starts from main. So first, this main will be pushed on stack. And for this main, a different stack frame will be created. What is stack frame? Stack frame contains the local variables for the function, the resources that will be needed by the function, and the executable statement for the function. This total thing is nothing but the activation record, and that activation record will be stored inside the stack frame. For different function, different stack frame will be created. I am again repeating the definition of activation record. Activation record is nothing but when a function will be called, that function will be pushed on stack. Stack e insert hoy function ta. So that function will be pushed on stack. ফাংশনটা পুশ হলো মানে কি কি থাকবে স্ট্যাকের মধ্যে থাকবে ওই ফাংশনটার জন্য যা যা লোকাল ভেরিয়েবলস লাগবে, those local variables, what are the resources that will be needed to execute that function, those resources, the executable code that will be needed, all things will be present inside this stack frame, and that is known as activation record. Stack frame মানে ওই স্ট্যাকের ওই মেমোরি এরিয়াটা যেটা মেনের জন্য অ্যালোকেট হবে, that memory area is known as frame. So this is the first stack frame for main function. Inside this, r variable will be there and factorial 4 calling will be done. So r variable is there, and when factorial 4 function has been called, when a new function will be called, then that function will create another stack frame, and that will be inserted on the top of main. Why? মেনের টপে কেন যাবে? কারণ আগে এই লাইনটা এক্সিকিউট করবে, পর মেনটা, ধর এখানে আমি একটা প্রিন্টএফ স্টেটমেন্ট দিয়েছি, প্রিন্টএফ রেজাল্ট ইকুয়ালস টু %d, r. তাহলে আগে এটা এক্সিকিউট করবে তবে এটাতে যাবে। So first this line is going to be executed. When this line is going to be executed, here we have a function call. So that function will be pushed on stack. So for that function, factorial, it is factorial 4. So factorial 4 has been called. So in that scenario, এই যে stack frame টা তৈরি হবে for factorial 4, এখানে n এর ভ্যালু কত? n equals to 4. In this stack frame, n value is 4. Done. When n value is 4, condition will become false. It will go to the else part. Return n into n factorial of n minus 1. So which value will be returned? This function calling has been done, and this function calling return money kintu function er kaj shesh. Return is the last statement in the function. No more execution will be done after return. তাহলে ও কি রিটার্ন করবে? রিটার্ন করবে, তার মানে এই ফ্যাক্টোরিয়াল 4 স্ট্যাক থেকে পপ হবে, এলস পার্টে গিয়ে স্ট্যাক থেকে পপ হবে, স্ট্যাক থেকে পপ হয়ে ও কি রিটার্ন করবে না 4 ইনটু ফ্যাক্টোরিয়াল অফ 3. 4 into factorial of 3 will be written in which function? Main function. But the problem is main kintu 4 into factorial 3 calculate korte pare na. Why? Because in this return statement and function calling is there. So this factorial 4 has written which value? 4 into factorial. So 4 into factorial of 3 calling has been done. But since this function again be called, so again on top factorial will be there. And in this scenario, n is equals to 3. So when n is equals to 3, again it will be going to this line. It will return 3 into factorial of 4, factorial of 2. So again it will be going. So in that way, when n will reach to 1, it will return 1. And again using backtracking, because this remaining operation is there, it will, until and unless that operation is not going to be executed, we cannot proceed further. So when it will reach to 1, then the remaining operations will be there. That 1 will be multiplied by 2, then that 2 will be multiplied by 3, then that 3 will be multiplied by 4. Ultimately the resultant value will be 24, and that 24 will be stored inside the variable r. So in that way, ultimately we are getting the result one after another. After calling will be there, but this function calling is recursive function calling, and when recursive function calling will be there, you have to understand for a function calling different stack frame will be created or the same stack frame. মানে এই মেনে ফ্যাক্টোরিয়াল 4 এর জন্য কিন্তু n এর ভ্যালু 4 ওর কাছে, কিন্তু যখন ফ্যাক্টোরিয়াল 3 কল হচ্ছে তখন ফ্যাক্টোরিয়াল 3 এর কাছে কিন্তু n এর ভ্যালু 4 নয়, n এর ভ্যালু 3. So that means for different stack frame, different local variables will be assigned according to the current value of n. Okay. Similarly, with the help of recursion, we can lots of problem, like we can create the Fibonacci series using recursion very easily, or we can find out the power function also. You know that power function is present, but if the question will be asked that you cannot use any library function to calculate the power of a number, then how you can solve it using recursion? Suppose we want to find out 3 to the power 4 like this. So when we are going to calculate this power with the help of recursion, you can see 3 to the power 4 is nothing but 3 into 3 into 3 into 3. So that means 4 times the 3 is going to be multiplied. So that means the same operation multiplication is going to be performed 3 times. 3 to the power 4 means 3 into 3, 1 multiplication, then another multiplication, then another multiplication. So that means you can see that when we are going to perform this power function, or when we are going to write the recursive function for this power, then we have to understand same operations are actually going to be executed multiple times, and we can easily solve that particular problem with the help of recursive function. How we can do the power function with the help of recursive function, I'm not going to explain. It will be your responsibility to try to write the function. Okay, what will be the logic for writing the power function? Like suppose int power int n int a comma int n, a to the power n. You want to find out a to the power n. So a is the base number in power, a is that number. So there should be a base case scenario, there should be a recursive case scenario. What will be the base case scenario? Can you tell me? What will be the base case scenario to calculate the power of this number?
ম্যাম যদি ওই n ভ্যালুটা 1 হয় তাহলে রিটার্ন এ করবে।
n এর ভ্যালুটা 1 হয়, আচ্ছা কি লিখবো? if n is equals to 1, তাহলে কি রিটার্ন করবে?
রিটার্ন এ।
রিটার্ন a. ওকে, else কি লিখবো? What will be the else condition? ঠিকঠাকই তো যাচ্ছিস বল।
পাওয়ার অফ মানে a, n minus 1.
else পাওয়ার অফ, তাহলে মাল্টিপ্লিকেশনটাই তো হলো না কোথাও।
মানে a into পাওয়ার অফ n minus 1.
else a into পাওয়ার অফ a, minus 1, এটা বলছিস তো?
হ্যাঁ ম্যাম।
ওকে, লেটস সি। ধর আমি এখানে a এর ভ্যালু দিলাম 3, এখানে n এর ভ্যালু দিলাম 4. a is 3, n is 4. So n equals to 1. Condition false. It will go to this else part. Else part কি রিটার্ন করছে? a means 3 into power of 3, 3. তাহলে 3 into power of 3, 3 এটা রিটার্ন করছে কি? তাহলে এই পার্টটা আগে এক্সিকিউট, এটা রিমেইনিং অপারেশন পড়ে থাকবে কেন? কারণ এখানে ফাংশন কল হয়ে গেছে। যেই ফাংশন কল হয়েছে আগে এই ফাংশনটা এক্সিকিউট করবে, তারপর যা রিটার্ন করবে সেটা এর সাথে মাল্টিপ্লাই হবে। তাহলে আবার দেখি ফাংশন কল পাওয়ার অফ 3, 3, again condition false. Else a, that means again it will return 3 into power of 3, 2. তাহলে আবার এই কাজটা রিমেইনিং থাকছে, আগে এই ফাংশন কলটা হবে। পাওয়ার অফ 3, 2 means again it will go to 3 into power of 3, 1. So now a has become 1, n has become 1. So when n has become 1, it will return a. Okay, so this function will return the value 3. So that 3 will be multiplied with this 3 into 3, that 3 will be multiplied with this 3 into 3, and that 3 will be multiplied with this, right? So that means 4 times the 3 is going to be multiplied. 3 into 3, then 3 into 3, then 3 into 3. So that means 3's will be multiplied with each other 3 times multiplication. 3 to the power 4 is 3 into 3 into 3 into 3. So ultimately the power value we are getting. So this is the base case and this is the recursive case to calculate the power of a number raised to the power n. Now Fibonacci series, you will try at home how you can solve the Fibonacci series with the help of recursive function. The Fibonacci series for lateral students and transfer students, I'm mentioning Fibonacci series is nothing but a series where the initial value is 0 and the second value is 1. After that, it will be just the addition. If this is f1 and this is f2, next value will be nothing but f1 plus f2, that means 1. Now, when this value is generating, this will become f1 and this will become f2. Again, the next value will be f1 plus f2 means 2. Now it will become f1 and this will become f2. It will be 2 plus 1 means 3. Now this will become f1, this will become f2, again 3 plus 2, 5. So 5 plus 8, 3, 8. So in that way, the Fibonacci series will expand. First two number is fixed. First number is 0, second number is 1 always, and the other number will be just the addition of exactly previous two numbers. So exactly previous two numbers means 0 plus 1, 1, 1 plus 1, 2, 2 plus 1, 3, 3 plus 5, 5 plus 3, 8. In that way, the Fibonacci series will be explaining. So we are doing the same job, but that means f1 plus f2, only we are changing f2 and f1, that is the case. Oh, just a minute, Gaurav has a question. I will print Fibonacci series within a range or number of terms given by user. Anything you can do, you can print within a range as well or using the number of terms. Range means suppose the range is 50. So within 50, how many Fibonacci numbers are there? You can print that, or you can print according to number of terms. That means 10 number of terms means 10 number of Fibonacci series you are going to print. So that is up to you. You can print it within range as well. You can print in number of terms as well. That is up to you, but you have to write with the help of recursive function. Now, I have told you that recursion means it is using stack. So I am giving you certain questions. You have to solve that. What will be the answer? Tell me what will be the answer of this question. This is question number 1. এখানে আইটা কোনো কাজে লাগছে না int n int percentage d comma n. Tell me what will be the value of n. There is a recursive calling. This is the base case and this is the recursive case, and inside int main we have written this thing. Means main we have called f with respect of value 6. So what will be the answer? Tell me. The answer will be given by transferred and lateral students. Okay, transferred and lateral students are going to give the answer. No, not the of course all will do, all will solve, but I will ask the answer from transferred and lateral students only. Tell me what will be the answer.
ম্যাম ওই x equals to 2 এর তলায় রিটার্নটা কি দিচ্ছে?
Return 2.
হ্যাঁ আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে।
This is very easy question, not no complex thing is there, just the recursive calling. So I need the answer from lateral and transfer students. What will be the resultant printing? What will be printed at last? কি হলো? It is 720. How it will become 720? Abir, 720. There is plus and 2. Else পার্টে প্লাস প্রিন্ট হয়েছে আর তারপর f of x minus 1 কল হয়েছে। 720 কি করে আসছে রে? 720 তো আসার কথা না। কোয়েশ্চেন নাম্বার 2 দিচ্ছি, যাদের 1টা হয়ে গেছে তারা কোয়েশ্চেন নাম্বার 2 তে যাবে। কোয়েশ্চেন নাম্বার 2 is f1 int b if b equals to 0, then return 0. Else printf a f1 of b minus minus. Next, this is f1 and then main function. Inside main int a equals to f1 of 10 printf percentage d comma a. Two problem I gave you. This is the first problem. Six plus five plus কি করে হচ্ছে রে? এখানে কিন্তু addition হয়নি, এখানে প্লাসটা as a print হবে, প্লাসটা প্রিন্ট হবে, it is not addition. তুই 6 plus 5 plus এখন কি করে করবি? ভালো করে ভেবে দেখ। There is no addition operation, so how the resultant value will be 20?
তাহলে শুধু প্লাস প্রিন্ট করবে, মানে প্রথমে 6টা প্লাস তারপর 5টা,
ওরকমই হবে। 6টা প্লাস হবে কি দেখ,
ম্যাডাম
4টে প্লাস হওয়ার কথা। হ্যাঁ, তারপর 4টে প্লাস হবে, তারপরে 2টা প্রিন্ট হবে, তাই তো?
ইয়েস ম্যাম।
This will be 4 plus will be printed, then the 2 value will be printed, because if x will become equals to 2, then the return value is 2, so that 2 value will be printed. What will be the answer of this for all? সবাই দেবে এটার আনসার। Question number 2, what will be the answer?
ম্যাম 9টা এ আর একটা 0।
ভালো করে ভেবে দেখ, পোস্ট ডিক্রিমেন্ট আছে
হ্যালো
কিন্তু।
ম্যাম,
হ্যাঁ,
ইনফাইনাইটটা এ আসবে, মানে
একদম
শেষ হবে না।
একদম পোস্ট ডিক্রিমেন্ট আছে এটা। পরে যদি বি এর ভ্যালুটা কমেও, তাতে কি কিছু যায় আসবে? ও তো নতুন স্ট্যাক ফ্রেম তৈরি হয়ে গেছে, নতুন স্ট্যাক ফ্রেমে তো বি এর ভ্যালুটা 10 নিয়ে নিয়েছে, তাহলে তো আবার 10 এর জন্য এক্সিকিউট করবে, তার পরের বারেও সেই 10 নিয়ে নেবে, তারপর গিয়ে কমবে, তাতে কি এসে যাবে? এটা যদি মাইনাস মাইনাস বি হতো, f1 অফ মাইনাস মাইনাস বি, তাহলে বি এর ভ্যালু একটা করে কমছে, তারপর সেই রিডিউসড ভ্যালুটা ইউজ হচ্ছে অপারেশনে। কিন্তু এখানে তো বি আগে, দিস ইজ পোস্ট ডিক্রিমেন্ট, বি আগে নিয়ে নিচ্ছে f1 অফ বি। f1 অফ বি এক্সিকিউট করার পর ফার্স্ট যে f1 টা, সেই স্ট্যাক ফ্রেমে বি এর ভ্যালুটা কমে গিয়ে 10 থেকে 9 হচ্ছে, তাতে কি কল তো হয়েছে আবার f1 অফ 10। তাহলে ওই f1 অফ 10 টা আবার যখন হবে, তখন আবার f1 অফ 10 এ কল করে আবার ওই স্ট্যাক ফ্রেমে ওটা 9 হবে। তো এটা তো হতেই থাকবে, যদি কখনো স্টপ হবে। আমি তো মাইনাস মাইনাস বি দিইনি, আই হ্যাভ গিভেন বি মাইনাস মাইনাস। যদি বিটা গ্লোবাল হতো দেন নো প্রবলেম, বিটা যদি গ্লোবাল ভেরিয়েবল হতো এই প্রবলেমটা হতো না। Why? কারণ গ্লোবাল ভেরিয়েবল হলে তো স্ট্যাক ফ্রেমের রেসপেক্টে আলাদা আলাদা ভ্যালু তৈরি হতো না। ফর অল ফাংশন a same value, a single value will be there and all function is sharing the same value. তখন যদি বিটা মডিফাই হতো সবাই মডিফাইড ভ্যালুটাই পেতো, কিন্তু এখানে বি ইজ নট গ্লোবাল ভেরিয়েবল, বি ইজ লোকাল টু দিস ফাংশন f1। তাহলে নতুন যখন f1 কল হচ্ছে তখন তার জন্য আবার আলাদা করে বি অ্যাসাইন হবে, নট দ্য সেম বি, রাইট? So it will work for infinite times. আচ্ছা, ট্রান্সফার আর ল্যাটারাল স্টুডেন্টস এর জন্য বলছি এটাকে এক্সপ্লেইন করতে হবে, টেল মি দেন আই উইল এক্সপ্লেইন।
হ্যাঁ ম্যাম বলে দিন।
Okay. Basically, what is happening in this scenario, ছবিটা আঁকলেই বুঝতে পারবে। First main has been called. So in the stack, we have main first. Inside main, the value of a is equals to 10. And we have called f1 of 10. So value of, sorry, not value of a equals to 10. We have called f1 of 10. So we have called f1 of 10. When we have called f1 of 10, then on top f1 of 10 will be there. So on top f1 of 10 will be there means the value of b is equals to 10. f1 of 10 means b will hold the value 10. If condition will become false, it will go to this else part. It will print, first it will print a and then again it will call f1. But when it will call f1, it is b minus minus. So that means এই যে মাইনাস মাইনাসটা হবে, সেই মাইনাস মাইনাস ইজ পোস্ট ডিক্রিমেন্ট। তার আগে তার মানে আগে f1 অফ b হবে, তারপর বিটা মাইনাস মাইনাস হবে। তাহলে বিটা মাইনাস মাইনাস হওয়াটা কিন্তু পেন্ডিং থেকে গেছে, তার আগেই f1 অফ b আবার কল হয়ে গেছে। তার মানে আর f1 অফ 10 পেয়ে গেছে, বিকজ ইট ইজ পোস্ট ডিক্রিমেন্ট। ফার্স্ট ইট উইল টেক দ্য ভ্যালু, দেন দ্য ভ্যালু উইল বি ডিক্রিমেন্টেড বাই 1। তাহলে তার আগেই আমার কিন্তু f1 অফ 10 আবার কল হয়ে গেছে। তাহলে f1 অফ 10 যেই কল হয়ে গেছে, স্ট্যাক টপে আবার 10 চলে এসছে। স্ট্যাক টপে যেই 10 এসছে, সঙ্গে সঙ্গে এটার জন্য আবার নতুন স্ট্যাক ফ্রেম, তাহলে এটার ক্ষেত্রে আবার b equals to 10. Same scenario will happen, and it will print a. Again the value will be b minus minus, but before that f1 of b has been called, so again f1 of 10 has been called. তার মানে রিডিউস হতেই পারছে না, হলেও সেটা রিফ্লেক্টও করছে না, কারণ আগে আমার f1 of 10 will be called, then b will be minus minus. So stack top এ সব সময় f1 of 10 f1 of 10 f1 of 10 চেপেই থাকছে। So a will be printed infinite times. So it is not reducing, actually the value is not reducing, so the value will be printed, a value will be printed for infinite times. এটা যদি মাইনাস মাইনাস বি হতো তাহলে কি হতো, that you have to identify. If it will become minus minus b, then what will happen? Minus minus b means
তখন তো আগে b মাইনাস হয়ে যাবে, তারপর f of b।
যদি মাইনাস মাইনাস বি হতো, মানে আমি যদি এখানে লিখতাম মাইনাস মাইনাস বি, then the value of initially the value of b was 10. তারপর যখন নেক্সট f1 টা কল হতো, তখন কার রেসপেক্টে কল হতো, f1 of 9। তাহলে এই স্ট্যাক ফ্রেমে b এর ভ্যালু হয়ে গেল 9। নেক্সট আবার এটাতে যেত, এখানে গিয়ে আবার একটা প্রিন্ট করতো a, দিয়ে হয়ে যেত f1 of 8। তাহলে এটা কিন্তু ডিক্রিমেন্টের দিকে যাচ্ছে, রাইট? তাহলে তোর এইভাবে ডিক্রিমেন্ট করতে 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 একটা টাইমে ওটা 0 হয়ে যেত। 0 যখনই হতো সঙ্গে সঙ্গে রিটার্ন 0 ইনিশিয়েট হয়ে যেত। So when you are writing the recursive function, you have to be a little bit careful about the function calling, because of your function calling, infinite calling can happen, or infinite times the program execution can happen. So that thing you have to be careful when you are writing a recursive function, so that this type of recursive calling will not be present, where the infinite time calling of the function will happen. Okay. In the next class, we will explain the application of recursion, like Tower of Hanoi, and then we will explain the time complexity of Tower of Hanoi. 66